Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here with my 100% achievement/trophy walkthrough for Heroes Trials, available January 23rd for approximately $5, published by Ratalaika Games. We'll just jump straight into a new game. I have made a ton of full game walkthroughs in the past. I will leave a link to the playlist below. Previously, we covered Planet Rix 13, which took us approximately 20 minutes. Now, the controls are pretty easy. You're going to move with the left stick and attack with B. You'll also be able to change characters with Y, although we won't really be doing that too much. Once you're familiar with the controls, you can press any button in order to continue. During any of these dialogue sections, you can just skip through them. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, as soon as we gain control of our character, which happens right now, we'll walk to the left and talk to this NPC, and we will get an achievement or trophy right out of the gate. Now what we want to do is head downwards and towards the red dot on the minimap. That is our kind of primary objective whenever we're in this kind of hub world. And then there's all these kind of separate missions you access from the hub world. It might sound confusing, but it's super simple. Now, any point I'm walking through, you may notice that I'm kind of hitting bushes and stuff, and that's just me getting coins in order to buy stuff later on in the game. So just kind of follow along, work your way towards the red dot, kill any of the enemies. Most of them take 1 hit or 3 hits, depending on their size. And then you'll also be able to grab the bushes along the way, which sometimes spawn coins. We'll need 250 coins throughout our playthrough in order to buy the boots. We should easily get over 400, but it's advantageous to try to get the boots pretty early. So I'm going to try to focus on the enemies whenever possible. Again, working my way towards that red dot. Now, upon reaching the red dot, that should conclude Mission 1, which will also unlock an achievement or trophy. And feel free to save your game in slot 1, and then continue through the dialogue to get to Mission 2, entering the little graveyard crypt in order to start Mission 2. Now, once we spawn in, we'll want to attack the orb on the left to turn it blue, switch characters by pressing Y, and attack the orb on the right to turn it blue and open the gate. Now switch back to the sword-wielding character and go to the left and then through the gate. And then you'll be able to go up and through the next gate into a room with 3 spiders. Kill them all to open the gate to the next room. They'll all take 3 hits. Your sword swing is very broad. You'll actually hit all the enemies on your sides and even some of the enemies behind you. Now in the next area, just walk through and you'll get into a loading screen and then proceed to the next area. In the next area, start off by going to the right-hand side. Watch out for the little spike trap, but walk across when it's safe. Then you'll want to head up the stairs and interact with the chest in order to grab the key. And now what we'll do is go back to the area we were just in and then shoot across to go to the left-hand side door. Once in here, the door will lock behind us. Kill all of the spiders in order to open the gate behind you to leave this area, but it'll also spawn a whole bunch of gold for us. So here you see I've taken care of all the spiders, and then I return to the middle area. You'll see these little piles of gold, which I'll want to pick up in order to have some more gold. Now we can walk forward and through the gate on the top, and then attack all the spiders in this room, and then proceed forward to the next room. Once here, you want to just continue forward. We can take out these little vases if we want to. Sometimes there's stuff in them, sometimes there's not. You'll make your way into this next room, and here there will be basically an infinite amount of enemies. If you really want, you can grind out all your coins here. I won't be doing that, and I'll show you guys all the easiest ways to grab coins. But essentially, there's like 4 pillars in this room. The pillars spawn infinite enemies, and you have to take out all of the pillars and all of the enemies in order to be able to leave this room. So, as you can see, I'm working my way through, killing all of the enemies, destroying all of the pillars. And then once, there might actually be 5 or 6 pillars. I thought there was 4, but watching this back, there might be more. So I've taken out all of the enemies, and the last pillar should be this one right here. That will open up the gate kind of up and to the right, which we can now walk through into the final room. What you want to do once you're here is interact with the statue in the back in order to get some dialogue and unlock an achievement or trophy. As well, you want to interact with the chest right here, which is our first spell. There are 3 spells we'll need to grab, and then you can exit out by going onto the platform to get back to the hub world. Now, once in the hub world, we'll want to work our way towards the red dot, which will be our next primary objective. But on the way there, there's a lot of things we can do. So I'll make sure to point out through commentary what we're going to do. Walk down, and then instead of going to the left, go to the right, and you'll notice that there is a little bit of a beach. And on this beach, there's a lot of little gold piles of coins. So we're going to go for the coins to make sure we can buy the boots in the first possible opportunity to grab them. So go to the right here, then go up. You'll notice one pile up and to the left. You'll notice another pile of gold coins kind of across this little bridge. And then if you work your way all the way down to the bottom of the beach, you'll also notice another pile of gold coins. You want to have roughly the same amount of coins as me at this point in the game, so keep that in mind. Now we'll work our way to the left towards the red dot. As we go through this area, you'll notice that there is a little split path where you can go down, and there's a little section here. You want to go into that in order to start this kind of mini boss battle against Pataku. The best thing to do here is to switch to the mage, keep your distance, and just mash the B button in order to damage it while it's far away. You can attack it using your sword, which will make the fight potentially faster, but it is a little bit harder, and it's a lot easier to die when you're up close and personal with these bosses. So for the most part, for a lot of the bosses, I'm going to be doing the same kind of strategy. Once we kill it, we will unlock another achievement or trophy, and then we will be able to proceed. Continue following the path, kill any of the enemies and any of the bushes you see along the way just to get coins and whatnot. And at this point, there should be a little bit of a split path. You'll want to go down and to the right, and this will lead to a couple of enemies, but more importantly, it'll lead to like these flowers, and if you follow them downwards, you'll notice a pile of coins right there that I just picked up. If you ever see a kind of chain of flowers that are all tightly packed, those usually lead you to some secret coins. At this point, there are some coins down here as well. Make sure you grab those. And then we can now kind of move our way towards the red dot here. I have about 180 coins. You probably want around 170 at least at this point. So if you don't have that many, just make sure you go back and kind of take out any enemies you might have missed or any bushes as well. Now at this point, you want to walk forward and past the town and to the left, straight at the red dot. Feel free to use this blue crystal in order to save the game, but otherwise, just continue past all of this. At this point, you should transition from one screen to the next, and directly in front of you when you spawn, there should be a chest. If you interact with that chest, there will be bananas inside, and that is specifically tied to an achievement or trophy, which you will unlock. Feel free to use the shard again to save. Basically, whenever there's a save opportunity, I use it just in case to be safe. You can always back out to the main menu and reload your game if something happens that becomes a problem, like you feel like you died too many times or there's a problem with the clock or not enough coins. You can always go back to the main menu and whatnot. So at this point, we're going to work our way to the left, and inside of these trees, you can find some coins as well as another chest, but this chest just has a melon in it, which just gives you life. But you continue to the left, and basically what we're doing is we're trying to get to 250 coins as quickly as possible. So I'm taking care of all the bushes, I'm taking care of all the enemies. I showed you one little pile of gold coins. Up here, if you go, you can also find some more enemies and whatnot, and some more bushes to grab. Now, what we're going to do is work our way downward. And there's some enemies here as well we can grab, and some bushes we can grab, which we'll be doing. And what we want to do now is work our way to the right-hand side. All the way to the right-hand side. You'll notice 2 green dots. Those are NPCs we can talk to. We're going to skip them for now and go up and stick to the right-hand side to find another pile of gold here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the cave right here and then stick to the right-hand side in order to find 2 more piles of gold. And we should now have 250. If you don't, it's fine. Just get to 250 with whatever, means you want. And then you'll want to head back to these 2 NPCs and talk to the one on the right with the white hair. in order to buy the boots off them. At this point, you'll have the boots. You'll unlock an achievement or trophy for doing so. And at any point now, if you hold the right bumper, you will sprint, which allows you to traverse the map quite a bit faster. Now, with the boots, I will be sprinting quite a bit. If at any point I go too fast, feel free to slow down the video or just pause it. You'll go directly north, kind of up and into the first cave you notice. At this point, what you want to do is take care of all of the enemies. And what we'll need to do is switch to the mage and then switch the spells using X. And that'll change the spell to lightning. What we're going to need to do is use the lightning on these orbs in order to change them. There's one to open the first door. Run forward, stick to the left to find the second orb. Run a little bit forward, stick to the right to find a third orb. All three of those orbs should open the next gate, so we can now walk forward and into the door. At this point, you'll want to continue forward and to the left. We're basically going to have to kill a whole bunch of enemies, grab a whole bunch of keys, and just work our way through this little cave area. Once you enter this area, you should notice a small little mini-boss spawns. You can take them out using lightning and just spamming the attack. Feel free to also use your sword if you want to do it a little bit more quickly, but the sword is obviously a little bit more dangerous. I tried using the sword and basically almost died immediately, so I promptly switched back to the spellcaster here and just spammed him with the lightning. He might actually take more damage against the fire, but I didn't test that. So I just spammed him until eventually he died, kept my distance, and once he does die, a key will spawn in the little platform underneath the light, kind of at the top of the screen there. So once he dies, go grab the key. If at any point, you die, it's not a big deal. You'll just get respawned at the beginning of the area. So it isn't really too, risky if you want to kind of be more aggressive. Watch out for the little fire wasps and just work your way up and through the rest of the map here. If you find any apples or anything to destroy, you'll get some life back. But on the left here, you'll notice a platform. Take the platform to the left, and you'll now have that key to open this gate from before. If you work your way downwards after opening this gate, I'm going slowly because it's really hard to see enemies attacking you from the bottom of the screen. It's a lot easier to see them when they attack you from the top. So work your way down and kill all the enemies to spawn the next key, which I just picked up. And now you can work your way up the map. So I'll be sprinting when possible. There are also some apples right here. Make sure you pick them up if you're not at full health. And just continue working your way past the enemies. You should now have a key to go through this area. Take the platform to the middle. And the first place we'll go is to the left. So we'll go to the left. And there will be another kind of mini boss right here, which we will take out in order to grab the key. So same thing applies here. I'm just going to keep my distance with the spellcaster. I'm using my lightning to basically attack it as many times as possible. As quickly as possible, it will eventually die. Keeping the distance might take a little bit longer, but it's way easier and a lot less frustrating. Once he dies, continue past him and pick up that key like I was saying, and go back to the platforms we were just at. Once at these platforms, skip the right platform and just go straight up. And then once we go up, we'll now have the key to go past this gate. And then we'll be able to continue forward and pick up these bombs, which will unlock an achievement or trophy for progression. Pick up the apples if you need the health, and then pick up and go to the exit to go back to the hub world. Alright, so now that we are at the hub world, we need to go pick up, I think it's called the Iron Stone, and it's basically for defeating a certain boss. Make sure you save when possible again. Now, in order to go to the location we're going, head straight down from where we spawned, past the enemies, through the little cave entrance, and then down and follow this path all the way down and to the left. Watch out for enemies when possible. It's best to have full health when reaching the next area, which is right here. You'll notice these two rocks in your pathway. What you want to do is use X to throw a bomb as the sword wielding character. The bombs will explode and clear the rocks, and you'll be able to enter this new area where there is a boss battle. All of the bushes and stuff in this area typically have health, so if you're low on health at any point, you probably want to interact with those bushes, as you see here, to fill up your health. Basically, my strategy for this was to stay as far away as possible, or like mid to long range away, as the spellcaster using lightning. Just dodge his attacks and then spam him as much as you can. It's a lot easier to shoot up in this game than it is to like shoot kind of diagonally, so always try to position yourself kind of directly under him when possible. I do switch to the sword character to try to finish off this fight a little bit faster. It didn't really seem to have a great effect on the battle. You can also throw bombs at him. The bombs don't really do too much damage, but sometimes they're an easy way to kind of get him when he's not cooperating. You do want to save your bombs for later, though, in the game, so keep that in mind. But eventually you'll kill him. He will give you the Iron Stone. You will unlock an achievement or trophy for killing this boss. And now what you want to do is go back to those 2 green characters, those NPCs where we got the boots from. And we'll be able to trade in this Iron Stone for like a special shield that will grant us access to a new area we wouldn't be able to go otherwise. So follow the path towards the green dots. Talk to the person on the left with the kind of red hair. They will trade your whatever for a shield that's stronger now. And we can now go through to the red dot. And we'll be able to go into this cave we weren't able to go in before. I will be obviously making a save before heading in because there is a blue stone there. Now, as soon as you enter, I would recommend switching to the mage and using your lightning attack and basically always spamming it directly in front of you. There's a whole bunch of enemies that will spawn and kind of fly at you and shoot at you. The best way to avoid this and the most efficient way is just to spam the lightning as you walk forward to make sure all the enemies in front of you die before you have to fight them. There's also these like fire coffee bean grinder things that like shoot these little flames at you. You will have to make sure to take them out and proceed. You can't really go wrong here. There's no turns at the moment. You're just kind of working your way through like a bullet hell kind of dungeon with a whole bunch of enemies, and eventually you'll grab a key, which will be very obvious on your screen, and then you'll grab that key and go to the gate. And at this point, you just kind of continue forward. In this intersection, go up and to the right in order to grab the key. Going down and to the left will give you more health if you need health. I'm going to skip the health, however, and go straight for the gate, which is up. Make sure you kill the little fire coffee grinder of doom. And once you do that, you can now access the gate. Again, you can grab health from the bottom left if you need to. Go past this gate. We're going to just continue spamming that lightning attack whenever possible. You'll want to work your way up and to the left in order to find some extra health here if you want it. And then down and to the left in order to proceed to the keys and the gates we need. Once we work our way kind of down to the bottom here, work your way to the right to find this key. And then you can work your way to the left and then up in order to find the gate that goes with that key. This might look like a really complicated route. You can't really go wrong. This cave is really small, and although it seems like I'm making very specific turns, they all basically lead to the same area. Another fire coffee grinder of doom, take that out, and then after that you'll want to stick to the left-hand side and take out the enemies, and you'll find another key here. Proceed forward, and you'll find a stone where you can save, as well as a gate. I'm going to open the gate and then save. And then we can now proceed here, basically going up and forward past all of these enemies. If you stick to the right-hand side, you'll get some extra bombs. We don't need them, but they could help you. I just skipped them. But as soon as you go across the bridge, you will start in another boss battle against Denmaku. What you need to do for this one is stay as the spellcasting lightning mage. And what you want to do is throw bombs using the sword-wielding guy to get their shield off. And then you'll want to switch to the spellcaster and just basically spam them as much as you can. The arcane attack does seem to do a decent amount of damage, but I believe the lightning one does more. After their little first phase, they'll go to the middle of the map, and then you'll have to use your bomb again to take off their shield, and then basically spam them again, and they'll go back and forth as many times as you need in order to basically take care of them. The bombs actually do damage them as well. I killed them by accident trying to take off their shield by throwing multiple bombs, and I killed the boss and unlocked the achievement or trophy that goes along with it. I don't know what happens if you run out of bombs and they still have a shield, so yeah, I'm not really sure if you're going to need to restart if you run out of bombs there. At any point, you'll proceed through the cave and then exit out to finish off the mission and go back to the hub world. Once you reach this little area, just go through the dialogue, save your game, and step on the platform in order to be transported back. All right, once we're back in the hub world, we want to work our way towards the red dot. To do that, you want to head all the way to the right-hand side from where we spawned and then go up and through the cave. This takes us to an area above, and at this point, we can follow the twisty, windy, turny path to the red dot. So I'm going to be doing that, avoiding enemies. I don't really need to kill them, but I also don't want to sprint through and take unnecessary damage. So I'm kind of slowly going through, and eventually I'll go through this little area, and I will go forward and start a mandatory section. This is called like Plutonia's Trial or something. I forget everything about this game already, and I played it literally like for the last 3 hours. But you'll get like an over-the-top game. Don't ask me questions, guys. Nonetheless, the best strategy for this is to, in my opinion, switch to the spellcaster, put on your lightning, basically just always face forward and spam the button in order to kill all the enemies. Once we kind of reach the end of this area, there's gonna be a lot of scorpions. The scorpions are pretty resistant to the lightning, so near the end of this, I will switch to the sword guy and sword the scorpions. The running boots can help you get through this as well. If you didn't buy the running boots earlier, that's completely fine. You should have enough coins to buy them after this. So if you don't have the boots by now, after this, make sure you go buy the boots before you do the next section. But just work your way through this. This probably lasts around 2 to 3 minutes, and it all leads to the same kind of exit area. I will join back with commentary then. So we unlock an achievement or trophy for completing Plonida Shrine, and then as soon as we do that, just run forward and make sure you interact with this chest in order to pick up our second spell. This is for the spellcasting mage, and this allows us to use an ice attack. Once back in the hub world, save when prompted. In my opinion, you should always be saving just in case. And for mission 7, we need to go to the volcano. And to do that, follow the twisty, windy, turny path all the way to the right-hand side. And then there's a path off to the right where you'll follow that into the volcano. Now, the new spell we have is the ice spell. And the way it works is inside of the volcano, there is certain pieces of lava that you can use your ice attack on in order to create small bridges. The bridges are temporary, but you'll see that in action here. Basically, this is another section that might look extremely complicated, but there aren't really as many paths as it may seem. Work your way to the right, switch to the spellcaster with the ice in order to create yourself a bridge to go across here. Then work your way continuing to the right as far as you can, and then downward through this kind of rib cage. Now work your way to the left and down, and then work your way to the left again in order to find this kind of dinosaur. At the dinosaur, there is a mini boss. Use your sword character. He takes 2 or 3 hits. After destroying or killing him, you will unlock a key on this little dinosaur island. Switch back to your mage, make a bridge downward, and then cross that bridge, and then proceed downward again. Just keep trying to go kind of south or into the screen. Make another bridge to go to this area where there's another dinosaur skeleton and another mini boss. For this mini boss, I used lightning. I just wanted to keep my distance in order to make sure I could survive. So just keep attacking him until he eventually goes down. This should spawn you another key. And now you want to work your way back where we came from. So go up, and then you want to go up again. I kind of got a little lost here and almost went the wrong way. We'll go up again in order to get back to the dinosaur island we were at before. From the dinosaur island, go back to the right-hand side, and now work your way downward and keep making those ice bridges. And then once you reach this area, keep working your way downward, but you'll have to go to the left a little bit first. And once you reach this kind of last island, you can follow it around to the door. That's going to be your first door, and then there's a second door right across an ice bridge. And at this point is basically the end of the game. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. If this video was helpful, drop a like now, subscribe for future videos, check out some of my other full game walkthroughs. But right after this little interaction, just head forward and interact with the chest in order to grab your last achievement for 12 out of 12, 1000 gamer score, or a platinum trophy. There is still a bunch of game to go, but I will not be playing the rest of the game, as I would imagine many of you also won't be. A special super extra thanks to all the amazing people on Patreon for supporting the show. Videos like this wouldn't be possible without the support of the community. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.